we taste and talk. Today we're going to be making something a bit more complex than last time. We're going to be making some donuts. You need about, let's say, 3 hours. 3 hours to make donuts. So these are the ingredients that you need to make donuts. So there's a book that's out now called Seasons by Pastor Murithi Wanjao, and it basically talks about the seasons of life, different things that you're supposed to be doing at different ages or different age brackets. When I saw his interview, I was very intrigued by what he had to say. The first thing you do is you get your yeast, 4.5 teaspoons of yeast, and you put that yeast in warm water, lukewarm water, and you let that stand for about 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes you get this frothy consistency. That's because yeast is a living organism, and when you put it in warm water it activates it and it starts breathing and releasing carbon dioxide. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Once that's done, you then go ahead and add your milk, get your eggs, them in there, get your butter, half a cup of sugar, you have 1 teaspoon of salt, and you add just two cups of flour to start off with. And you want to use a mixer to mix that all up. I was talking about this book called Seasons, and it got me thinking, because I'm not a chef. I didn't train to be a chef. My original training is actually in agriculture. So I'm actually a horticulturist, and I spent some time also doing agroforestry. You mix that up for about 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes of mixing, you then add the rest of the flour. So that's 3 more cups of flour. I was saying my original training is in agriculture, but somewhere along the line, late in life, we decided we wanted to do something a bit more meaningful, and we decided to go into ministry, and that meant going back to school and getting trained. But what I really wanted to do in ministry was media. Once you add 3 cups of flour, you mix that up again. Now for this one, you really need a heavier mixer. This won't cut it. So I'll just use this to mix it up a bit, and then I'll just use my hands. So you can see this is not going to work. So it's mixed up a bit. And now the next thing is just to use your hands, but if you've got a KitchenAid or if you've got a bread mixer that works really well, then you use that to mix the dough, but I'm just going to use my hands. I was saying my original training is in agriculture, and I worked in agriculture, horticulture and agroforestry for the longest time, and then went back to school to study theology and media communications. So I wanted to use my training in theology just to have a background so that I know what I'll be communicating. But we did this late in life, and when I look at what Pastor Wanjao was talking about in his book Seasons, what we started to do late in life is what probably people in their 20s are doing right now, sometimes even earlier. So we missed out a lot in terms of where we're supposed to be in life. And sometimes we think just because we missed on things. I look at my friends who are close to retiring very comfortably, and I'm still trying to do things that I should have done in my 20s. It's very easy to just give up and say, well, I missed out on that, so I'm just going to wait to die, I guess. But it's just an encouragement to anyone out there who started things late or who's missed out on things, that it's never too late to start. So whatever you've been wanting to do, however old you are, just start. The dough is done, and what I need to do now is put it away in a warm place, in a lightly greased bowl, until it doubles in size. And that takes about an hour to 2 hours depending on the climate and depending on where you put the dough. Once this is done, once the dough has doubled up, I'm going to take it out, roll it out to about a 1/4 inch thickness, and then cut it out into the donut shapes. So I'm lucky to have a proper donut cutter, so I'm going to use this to cut the donuts. But if you don't have that, you can just use even the cup and something else in the middle to cut the holes out. You make the donut shape, and then we're going to leave those donuts to rise again for about 10 minutes. So there you go, they're all laid out in the pan. After about 10 to 20 minutes, your donuts are ready to fry. You can always add other things to it, like icing, which I'm going to do, or sprinkles or sugar on top to make them even better. That's how you make donuts. Try it out for yourself and see, let me know how it works out. That's it for today's episode of Word of Mouth, Taste and Talk. So remember, no matter how old you are, it's never too late to start something new. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, like, comment. See you next time on Word of Mouth.